tonight about the scope of a massive cyber attack.
Already believed to be the largest.
America under virtual invasion.
Please welcome to the Blackhat main stage, the president of Blackhat, Susie Pallett.
Good morning. By show of hands, who got less than 5 hours sleep last night? Yep, that's Blackhat. You stayed up late because you were in a conversation that mattered. Because someone showed you something that you've never seen before. Because you finally met the researcher whose work you've been following for years. Or because you were in your room debugging that idea that wouldn't let you go. That's what makes this community different. Welcome to day 2 of Blackhat USA. If yesterday gave you a taste of what this week's about, today we go deeper. Into the research, the hard problems, and the conversations that will shape how we think about security long after we leave Las Vegas. Here's my challenge to you today. Don't just attend, discover. Blackhat is about more than what happens on stage. It's about what happens when you step into the convergence and meet someone new, when you sit down at Arsenal and talk to the person who built the tool you didn't know you needed, when you ask questions in a briefing that everyone else was thinking but didn't say out loud. Those moments, that's where the real work happens. Today we have a full slate of programming on the main stage, keynote presentations and high-level conversations, exploring some of the most pressing challenges facing our industry. Take advantage of it, push back, ask hard questions. This community gets stronger when we're willing to challenge each other. And tonight, don't miss the world premiere of Midnight in the War Room, a groundbreaking documentary that takes you inside the realities of modern cyber conflict and the impossible decisions that shape it. It's going to be one of the most talked about moments and tells your story. I hope you'll join us. But before we dive into this morning's keynote, I want to bring someone onto the stage who needs no introduction in this room, but deserves one anyway. Over 25 years ago, this man saw something that didn't exist and decided to build it. A place where security researchers could share their work without filters, without corporate spin, and without apology. About security, never settled for good enough. Please join me in welcoming the founder of Blackhat and president of DEF CON, Jeff Moss.
Yeah, we didn't hear it, but earlier they were playing jazz before you came into the room, and you're like, no, we need the beats. Okay, so welcome. This is the 29th Blackhat. We're on the build up to next year, which will be the big 30th celebration. And for those of you who haven't been to a Blackhat before, let's see a show of hands. Who's new here for keynote? Okay, fantastic. So let me just give you a quick run of the show. I'm going to give you some opening remarks, then we're going to kick it off to the keynote. Normally I talk about how big the community is, and every year we do something where if you don't have the financial capability to attend Blackhat, because it can be expensive for people just entering the field, we have an alternative path to try to bring in new talent, and that's our scholarship program. You write a white paper, we review it, if we like it, you get admission for free. And this year, 131 people attend Blackhat through scholarship. So if you're here in the room and you got here by a scholarship, please raise your hand. Let's give them a round of applause. Right here. Right on. Some of our past keynotes in the last 2 years actually started as scholarship attendees. So it is absolutely possible to go from a noob to a badass. And we're a pretty welcoming community. We also have people attending from over 103 countries. So if you're here not from America, Canada, or Mexico, raise your hand. Right on. Okay, so if you see them, right, let's get a different perspective. Let's see how security works outside of our bubble. Now, Blackhat this year, you might notice a couple themes. There's 4 themes, and as you'd expect, AI and autonomous threats, cyber conflict and live operations, sort of information operations. How do you build engineering resilience in the face of this? And identity, trust, and control. Sort of the 4 organizing principles around a lot of the talks this year. And if you notice, probably 3 of those are pretty political. And this goes back to some of the things we've been saying over the past decade, is that InfoSec and security is political. Technology is political. And that makes us all uncomfortable to say that word out loud. But we have to sort of embrace it. If we don't embrace it, politics will happen to us. Just think about it. Right now, globally, with the conflict in Europe, Russia's all over giant hyperscalers and multi-tenant environments. Why? Because the hyperscalers inherit the risk models of their customers. And if your customer is Ukraine, guess what? Your opponent is Russia. You just want to sell rack space, but now you're in the middle of power conflict. Same thing with China. Great power conflict going on. Right now, it's most visible around AI and open weights debates. But remember when it was like high-performance GPU chips transshipping through countries in Southeast Asia? Like, this stuff is political. And we need to have a view and an awareness around it if we want to be effective in our jobs. Locally or state, right now what's in the news? Iran hacking rural water districts in the middle of the country. Why? The water, you take out the military base, right? Who's going to help defend? They don't have the budget. So there's a lot of defenders donating their time from our communities to try to make things better. So, and then there's a little kind of a weird thing. I don't want to say it's political, but like, who here has noticed this weird humble brag from some of the frontier models? Every time a model breaks out and causes some chaos, it's like this hee-hee humble bragging marketing material. That's being noticed on Capitol Hill too. There's a political impact to that kind of marketing. And finally, we're in an election year. So expect more synthetic personalities, more influence operations. And where is this all leading? I think one of the things that we can lose sight of in this whole autonomous agent-driven environment is the people, us. And we are the cornerstone on which all of this is built. And there's rapid change right now. And in times of rapid change, in times of uncertainty, some of the coping mechanisms are you turn to your community. The most resilient communities in any kind of a natural disaster or man-made disaster are your local communities. That's where people find support and they find direction. So here you are, you're in a giant room of peers, you're in a giant community. Yes, things are moving very quickly, things are changing, markets are being disrupted, but we're all in this together. And we will need to lean on each other in our community. And we do this by gathering in person, because you can't inject a fake personality here. And the weird things are, when things are extra stressful, attendance at conferences, not just security conferences, attendance at conferences go up. And I think that's because people, we innately know we need to see like what the fuck's going on. Like, we need to talk to people. I need to talk to my buddy and get the download on what's happening, and that might not be happening on some Discord server, right? And so I want you to make sure, like saying what Susie brought up, yes, see the technical talks, but take time to build those connections that are going to support you throughout the year. A few years ago, I mentioned on stage that AI is essentially a prediction engine. And if I was a business leader, I would try to make all my problems prediction problems. Because if my problems can be predicted, AI is perfect for me. And the prediction engine will get faster and cheaper. My problems can be solved faster, more efficiently. Great. Holy moly, in the last couple of years, it is a total sea change of what is possible now. And so, thinking about our keynotes, we have 2 keynotes today and tomorrow. Today, I wanted to have a keynote that focused more around defense. How are hyperscalers, how are we addressing the risks and opportunities of AI? And tomorrow, we're looking more at attacks. What is it doing to the academic and reversing the exploit developer? How is it helping or hurting them? And finally, one thought I want to leave you with is, I'm generally a pretty skeptical person. It's turned out really well for my career in security. But for AI, I think in listening to developers and programmers talk, I'm talking Unix graybeards, talking about, Vax VMS, to today, the trend line is every time there's an improvement in, say, IDE or the invention of IDEs, in development languages, object-oriented programming, so on and so forth, abstraction, it hasn't been the death of programming jobs. It hasn't been the death of of IT. What it's led to is allowing companies and people to think bigger. We can imagine larger things, more complicated systems. We can create newer opportunities. And so I think what's going to happen is, yes, there'll be a lot of disruption, but at the end of the day, there'll be more jobs, not less, because all these companies around the world are going to be wanting to build bigger. And it's going to be built on the backs of what we do, providing the reassurance and the resiliency for them to take bigger risks. So, with that, I'm really interested and excited to see what David Weston has to say. Dave now leads the agentic security team at Microsoft, where he builds the AI models, builds the agents, and the evaluation systems for defense at scale. And so, please put your hands together, and let's welcome Dave Weston.